Welcome to Nightcap Yoga. I'm Connie Bowman. I typically teach on Tuesday nights, but beginning with 4 or 5 weeks ago, I started teaching from home, as have many of my awesome yoga teacher peers. This evening is going to be more of a no-frills yoga practice. I invite you to stay inwardly focused, focusing on your body and your breath, so that we can bring some integration to ourselves, aligning our hearts, our minds, and our movements. So I'd like to begin with a Kabbalah Bhakti practice, breath of fire practice. So if you've been sitting for a while, you might want to change the cross of your legs. Begin with a little pranayama. You can place your hands on your belly. The bulk of this breath movement happens in the belly, and it's a rapid expulsion of air. And the inhalation is just comes naturally, and it looks something like this. So it's a real pressing of the belly forward with the air, and you can leave your hands on your belly just to kind of get the experience, and then eventually you can just let your hands rest. We'll be here for a minute or maybe a little bit longer. It just depends. So when you're ready, close your lips, take a deep inhale, and close your eyes and begin. Pause, inhale, and exhale through the mouth. Swallowing your throat, relaxing the throat. We'll have 2 more rounds of that. Breath of fire is very purifying. If you start to feel lightheaded, simply back off. Otherwise, when you're ready, close your eyes, take a deep inhalation, and begin. Pause when you're ready. Just leave your eyes closed. Just notice how you're feeling. Take a full inhalation through the nose and a deep exhalation through the mouth. Good. Last round, sitting up nice and tall, eyes closed. Take a deep breath in and begin. Nice big deep inhalation and exhale it out. Nice job. Blink your eyes open and just notice the effect of that pranayama. Give yourself a moment to feel the afterglow. And then when you're ready, bring your arms out nice and wide. Inhale, reach up, look up. Take your hands to heart center. Let your chin come to your chest and just pause here. Finding reverence for this moment. Finding reverence for your life. And finding deep gratitude for the gift of the breath. Inhale again, reach your arms out and up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Create an intention for this class. And with that, we'll seal it with one more breath. Inhaling, reaching high. And exhaling, drawing hands to heart center. Let your hands rest. Let your chin come to your chest again. Drop your shoulders down away from your ears. Inhale your nose up toward the sky, stretching your throat. Opening that throat chakra. And take your chin back to your chest and stretch the back of the neck. Inhale again, lifting. And exhale, chin to chest. Take one more. And lower the chin down to the chest. Take your nose and draw a circle in front of you, going whichever direction feels right. And keep it slow and easy. Working the front and back of the neck, sides of the neck. And then switch directions, go the opposite direction. Smoothing out any kinks you might have in the neck. And find stillness. Let your chin come parallel. Sit up nice and tall, draw the shoulders up to the ears, and exhale them back. Take two more, inhaling and exhaling. Take your right hand and walk it over to the right, and take your left ear and draw it towards your left shoulder. Walk your fingers a little farther if you're not feeling that stretch in the right side. Then find your breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Slowly lift your head back to center. Relax that right arm, walk the left fingers over to the left, and take your right ear to your right shoulder. Breathe in, breathe out. Every breath a gift. Sit up nice and tall. Bring your feet together, coming into Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. Wrap your hands around your feet. Lift your heart. And then come forward, finding a forward fold here. And just let your chin come to your chest. Let your legs relax down. If you have your pillows, you can prop up your legs underneath each leg. And come back to your breath. This time feeling your breath, breathing in to the upper back. And exhaling, relaxing the back of the throat. We'll be here for several rounds of breath. Tonight I'll be sharing several poems by some favorite poets of mine. And we'll try to integrate them into our practice. This first one is Dreams by Langston Hughes. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. And filling up the lower back, the middle back, and the upper back. Letting the shoulders slump forward, the back of the neck relaxing forward. Take 2 more breaths, allowing the thighs to relax toward the earth. Following the breath as it enters and as it leaves. Take 1 more full breath in. And as you exhale, just slowly rise. Let your feet release forward. Keep your knees bent. Take your hands back behind you, fingertips facing toward you. First, let your knees rock from side to side. Then come to stillness. Draw your heels a little closer to your hips. Press your feet into the floor. Lift your hips. Come into a reverse table. Look up. Take a full breath in. And then exhale, lower your hips to the floor. Extend your legs long. Engage your quadriceps. Flex your feet. Reach your arms way overhead. Reaching up, finding length. Then take a side bend over to your left side. Now I'm mirroring you. You know I'm not great at it, but I'll try. Full breath in. Full breath out. Then reach up, get long, look up. Take it to the other side. Staying gentle tonight. Finding that integration we need. Inhaling back up, reaching up, and exhale, forward fold. Be gentle as you forward fold. Reach for your feet, excuse me, your ankles, your pant leg, and let yourself come forward. Surrender here. And take some deep breaths here. Just finding that forward fold that works for you as we begin this practice. Close your eyes. And breathe. Finding that rhythm of the breath that allows your nervous system to settle. It allows you to find a focus in the breath. Each breath, relaxing the mind and the body. Feel free to tuck pillows underneath you. Propping yourself up wherever you need support. Reminding yourself that support is there for the asking. No shame in asking for support. Pillows are here to make us more comfy, help us settle into this practice. And we'll take a couple more breaths, finding silence, finding stillness. Maybe as you begin to soften into this pose, you start to notice places that feel safe enough to release. Let the next 3 breaths release you completely into this forward fold. Reminding yourself to take deep, full breaths. Letting go with every exhalation fully and completely. Every breath a reminder we're alive. And we're free. In this next breath, start to bring yourself back up to seated. And take your right leg, cross it over the left. Give yourself a big hug. We'll take a twist here. Sitting up nice and tall, flexing the foot that's extended and taking your gaze gently over that shoulder. Every inhalation lifts you and lengthens you, crown of the head coming toward the ceiling. And every exhalation taking you deeper into your twist. Another breath in. And as you slowly exhale, unwind. And we'll take this twist to the other side. Give yourself a big hug. Invite length into the spine. Reach behind you as you inhale, lift. And as you exhale, twist. Twisting from the ribs. Stretching that thoracic spine, that middle back, sending breath there. Inhaling, we lengthen, grow tall, and exhale. Find some depth, deeper twist. One more big breath in this twist. And then slowly release, coming out. So we're going to come up to tabletop. So take your blanket or your towel and place it on your mat. And bring your knees as wide as your mat. I invite you to take your pillow or pillows and lay them out in front of you if you'd like. Bring your big toes to touch and sink your hips back, and we'll come into child's pose. Extending your arms long, bringing your forehead down to your pillow or the floor, finding that child's pose, and breathing here. Breathing deeply into the lower back, finding that depth of breath that we're looking for here. Breathing in, filling up. Slow exhalation to let go. This is a poem by Rashani Reed. It's called Unbroken. There is a brokenness out of which comes the unbroken, a shatteredness out of which blooms the unshatterable. There is a sorrow beyond all grief, which leads to joy, and a fragility out of whose depths emerges strength. There is a hollow space too vast for words, through which we pass with each loss, whose darkness we are sanctioned into being. There is a cry deeper than all sound, whose serrated edges cut the heart as we break open, to the place inside which is unbreakable and whole, while learning to sing. Take another full round of breath here in child's pose. And take some wrist circles, just moving your wrists. in one direction and then the other. And then plant your hands on the floor, draw them back towards you, and let them land under your shoulders. Bring your knees under your hips. Shake out your hips and find stillness here in tabletop pose. Take a big breath. We'll work through some spine movements, cat-cow. So as you inhale, tailbone and crown raise, belly descends. And as you exhale, round forward. Find that cat pose. Inhale, back through cow, and exhale through cat. Just moving that spine forward and back. Bringing some sweet movement into the body. Moving with the breath. Integrating movement to breath. You can constrict the back of your throat and move with Ujjayi breath if that's in your practice. It's a little more of a reminder to keep your breath slow and move with the breath. Let's take one more. Then we'll meet back in table. As you're ready, release your right arm long and your left leg long. Look forward toward those right fingertips and point those left toes. And then flex those toes toward the floor and point the toes again. Finding a little bit of balance here in this awkward bird dog pose. Flex again. And point. And then flex again. Take those toes across the body. Try not to land in your teacup. And then sweep that right arm back and look back. Take a nice big breath in and point your toes. Reach forward again. Reach back again. Find length. Reaching forward toward the future. Reaching back into the past, but keeping that stability of the present. All one. And then release that left knee to the ground. Release the right hand to the ground. And shake it out. Take that left arm forward. Right toes forward. Point them, stretching, getting long. Point the toes toward the floor. Engaging those glutes, that one glute. Point and flex. Maybe lift that leg a little higher. Point and flex. Inhale and take that right toe over across that left leg. Open up that left arm and gaze back. Opening the shoulder. And then slowly release, extending, finding that length. Pointing your toes, reaching, reaching, reaching. Both directions. And then slowly release. Coming back to table. Take your palms and switch the position of them so that your fingertips are facing you. And just lean back so you can stretch your wrist. If this gives you any pain, just back off. Just leaning back just slightly. Get that stretch in the forearm and the wrist. And then as you're ready, take your hands, plant them just ahead of your shoulders where they were before. Tuck your toes. And just gently lift yourself up to your first downward facing dog, coming into that inverted V position. You can remove your blanket, your pillows, whatever's in the way. We'll take a few sun salutations here. So before we do, just walk your dog bending one knee and then the other. Eventually finding stillness here. Pressing those heels toward the floor, getting that really nice stretch in the spine. Relax the back of the neck. Just notice how the back of the neck is feeling here. And see how your shoulders are feeling. Press into the finger pads. Take another breath in here in downward facing dog. Press your heels again toward the floor, and then take a walk toward the front of the mat. Find a forward fold that works for you. So maybe it's reaching for your elbows and hanging in this ragdoll pose. Relaxing pose with your head under your heart. Try to keep your shirt out of your mouth. And shake your head yes and no. Rock from side to side. You might have your knees bent if your back is feeling a little tweaky here. Or you might be stretched out and want your legs nice and straight. When you're ready, go ahead and bend your knees. Root your feet into the ground and reach your arms out nice and wide. Rise up, look up. Let your palms touch above your head, and then draw your hands down to your heart. Find your first mountain pose. First official mountain pose of the night. Release your hands, draw your shoulders back, get really broad in the heart space, and let your eyes close. So notice how it feels to be standing. Feeling the feet first, rooted deeply into the earth, planted solidly. Engage the legs. Notice how every part of the body has a job. The ankles are supporting you. The muscles in the legs and the hips are strong, and the spine is lifting. The heart is beating. The lungs are breathing. The nervous system is allowing you to be present here in a graceful and peaceful way. So feel your presence, supported by every part of this body that you are blessed to be in. Take one more breath in, fill up, blink your eyes open. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, fold forward. Find that forward fold again, then come into a halfway lift. Finding that half table, finding a gazing point slightly forward ahead of you. And then as you exhale, refold, take your fingertips to the earth and step back with your right leg. Get nice and long with your leg. Fingertips come to the earth. Just rock a little forward and back, stretching that right toe. Good. Take that right hand to the inside of this left leg. Sweep that left arm up. Take your twist, opening the shoulder. And take some shoulder circles here. Let's take 3. And then if you like, flip that palm. Take your left arm around, reaching for that right hip crease, or just letting it rest behind you. And breathe here, opening up that shoulder. One more breath in. And then exhale it out. Take your left hand down to frame that left foot. Let that right foot come down to the mat. Then bring your hands up to your left knee. Anjaneyasana, leaning forward, getting that stretch in the right hip flexor. Opening that heart space again, drawing the shoulders back and down. So you can stay here, or if you'd like, bring your arms back behind you, clasp your hands, and open your heart more. Look up, lift up, opening that throat chakra, opening up that heart space, finding space for the breath. One more. We got this. And as you exhale, bring your hands down to that foot. Shift your hips back and lift those left toes towards you. And get a stretch in that left hamstring. Take a nice breath in. And if you like, if your knee is okay, take that nose towards your left knee. Your right knee, that is. Nice. And as you're ready, come back in through your low lunge. Tuck your right toes, take your hands down to the floor, lift your right leg off the floor. And then we're going to take that left leg up, sweep it up for a one-legged downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. Big breath in, and then lower that left leg to the floor. Walk out your dog. Take 2 more breaths here. Relax the back of the neck. Good job. When you're ready, lift your gaze, maybe bend your legs and you can jump forward, or you can just take a walk to the front of your mat, finding forward fold. When you get to forward fold, let your peace fingers reach around your big toes and draw your elbows out and bring yourself into a deeper forward fold. Belly can come to quadriceps. Head is just hanging below the heart. One more breath in. And one more exhalation. Bend your knees when you're ready. Inhale, root to rise, reaching up, looking up. Let your palms touch and then clasp your hands. Send that clasp, your open palms, up to the sky. Lean to your left. Look right. Planting both feet equally into the floor, keeping your rootedness. And then come back to center. Take yourself to the other side, looking the opposite direction. Nice big breath in as you reach up, look up. Take your arms into goddess pose and lean back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lean back. Find a back bend. Opening that throat chakra again, finding our voice. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, making more space for the breath. And then as you're ready, bring your palms together and just pour yourself forward, finding forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, making that tabletop. And then exhale, take your hands to the floor, step back with your left leg. Good. Take your left hand to the inside of the right foot. Sweep that right arm up. Open that shoulder. Take some arm circles here. Making more room for that sacred breath. You really don't realize how valuable the breath is until it's difficult to breathe. Bring your hands down to your foot. And then lower your left knee. Lower the left foot and come on up, Anjaneyasana. Lean forward. Lift your heart, lift your gaze. If you decide you want to clasp your hands behind you, take it the funky way. Make your fingers clasp in a different way. Challenge your brain, squeeze your shoulder blades. Look up. Lean forward. Deep breaths in as we wobble. Deep breaths out, calming the nervous system, calming the body. As you're ready, release. Take your hands back down to the mat. Slide your hips back, lift your toes on that right foot. Lift your chest and draw your shoulders down away from your ears if they happen to be creeping up. Mine were sort of threatening to do that. When you're ready, inhale and exhale. Find that forward fold, taking the nose to the knee. Nice job. Be here for just a little bit more. One more breath in. And exhale. Slide your way back through that low lunge. Plant your hands. Lift that left knee off of the mat. And step your right foot back and lift it up. One-legged dog. Reach it, find length. Get really long with that leg. And then lower it down. Let your feet be about hip width apart. And see if you can really recommit to pressing your heels toward the floor. A nice breath in. And take your right hand to your left ankle and twist, looking under your left. Sorry, my shirt is in my mouth again. Left arm. Nice big breath in. And exhale, just switch sides. Place that right hand on the mat. Take the left hand to the outside of this right ankle. And look under your right arm. Good job. Maybe smile. Think about your breath. Where can you let your breath move into? Release your hand and look forward, either step or walk or jump to the front of your mat and find your forward fold. This time, lift your toes and tuck your hands under your feet. If you like, your choice. You are free to find your forward fold of choice. And shake your head yes and no. Release more tension. Any more. See if you got any more left in there. Give your wrists a little massage with your toes. And take one more breath in. And then slowly release your feet. And root your feet. Bend your knees and root to rise. Reaching up, looking up. Take a hold of your right wrist with your left hand. Lean over to the left. Make yourself in that C shape. But keep pressing that right foot into the floor. Equal distribution, both feet, as much as you can. Inhale, rising again, and switch sides. Beautiful. Lift yourself up, reach up, look up, and then draw your hands down to heart center. And we'll pause again in mountain pose after you fix your shirt. Bring your hands to your heart center and close your eyes. First, feel your feet planted on the mat, imagining that you are growing roots beneath your feet. You are planted here on this earth. You belong. We all belong. Every single one of us. Gifts, purposes, strengths, foibles, challenges. We're all here for a reason. Let's blink our eyes open, release our hands, and come into mountain pose and really stand like we mean it. Be a mountain, be resolute. Standing tall, standing proud and strong. And when you're ready, we're gonna challenge our balance because we are so strong. So we're gonna bring our weight into our right foot. We're gonna lift our left leg up about waist high if you can. This is perfect. You can stay here. I suggest you find something that's not moving to look at. If you want to go a little bit further, we're going to come into eagle pose. The theme is, we have some bird themes going tonight. So you can wrap that leg around. You might want to sink a little bit deeper. And if you're ready to fly your wings, open up your wings. You can stay here, or you can take them and wrap them around. Right arm over left. Find something to look at. You might lift your elbows up a little bit taller. So this is making space for the breath, especially in the upper traps, in the upper lungs of the back. Keep your gaze steady. Keep your breath steady. If you fall out, come back. Like a strong eagle. Press those legs and arms into one another. We'll be here for one more breath. Keep it slow though. And then release that, opening up like a beautiful eagle, lowering your legs to the floor, and then shake that up. Good job. So we all have our favorite sides. I think that was my least favorite side. I'm not sure. We'll see, right? So when you're ready, bring your feet under your hips. Bring your weight into your left foot. Take your right foot, lift it up. Perfect to stay here. This is great. You can even start with your hands at heart center. But find your drishti, find your gazing point. Look at something that is not moving. Probably best not to look at me. When you're ready, take your right leg and wrap it around your left. Now it might go all the way around. It might rest on the floor. It might just hang out there, but squeeze your legs together. You're bringing some muscle into this. Open your arms nice and wide. Get really like you're ready to take off. And then take your left arm over your right. Come into eagle arms. Press your arms together. Your palms can come together, or they can be back to back. Take a breath in, maybe lift your shoulders a little bit higher. If you really want to test your balance and you're feeling a little bit cocky tonight, you can take your gaze up toward the ceiling. Sink down a little bit deeper. That might help make you a little more humble. Good. Big breath in. And then exhale to release. Good. Nice big bird. Take your feet as wide as your mat. So you're going to have to go turn to one side. Take your toes and point them forward. Bring your hands behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lift your heart. Lift your gaze. You got this. Exhale to fold. Lifting your arms overhead. Stretching your shoulders. Releasing that head down toward the ground. Beautiful. We'll take one more breath in. Release your hands, bring your fingertips to the floor and take a halfway lift. And then bend that right knee. I had a request for legs, so we're gonna just walk on over to the right side. Good. And then we're gonna walk on over to the left side, bending that left knee, straightening the right. And we'll take 2 more of these each direction. Just getting those legs nice and stretchy. That's what makes us feel so good at the end of practice, right? When you're ready, take your walk to the front of your mat and spin both of your feet so that they're spinning forward. And then take your back toes and place them at an angle, and your front toes are facing forward. And we're going to rise up to warrior 1. So you might have to spread your feet a little wider on the mat. Warrior 1, arms frame the ears here. Getting nice and tall, breathing in, reaching up, looking up. Now flip your palms, take your clasp behind your back again, and we are going to come into humble warrior. So when you're ready, bring your head to the inside of this left leg and lift your arms nice and high, stretching those shoulders. Big breath in. Exhale it out. And then inhale, root to rise, reaching up, gazing up. And then open up, warrior 2. You might have to adjust your feet so your left heel is lining up with the middle of the right foot. Look out over your left arms. Beautiful. Sink into that knee. Take a big breath in. Lift that left arm up overhead, reach back. Take your right arm for that left wrist. Come into sky archer. Lean back. Big breath. As you exhale, sink back into warrior two. Straighten that left leg. Maybe have a little bit of bend. And just lean forward. We're going to come into triangle pose. Right arm lifts, left arm descends. Beautiful. Nice breath in. Big breath out. And as you're ready, bend that left knee. Take your hands to the mat. Take the left foot back. Coming through plank pose. Let's take a couple of rocks so we can stretch our toes. And then lower your knees or come down through your vinyasa, coming all the way to the floor. Once you get there, let your forehead just come to the floor and take your hands outside of your shoulders. And take a big breath in, press into the mat, come into a little cobra, squeezing your elbows into your sides. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, coming up to cobra again. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, rising up, pushing yourself up, maybe through table, upward, downward facing dog. We are going upward, but not upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Good job. Take a nice big breath in and a nice big breath out. And then look forward, lift your right leg and just step it forward, coming into warrior one on this side. So your left foot's going to spin, your right knee will be tracking forward. Raise your arms up nice and high, pressing the outside of that left foot into the earth, just as much as the right side of the foot, as much as you can. So we're bringing blood flow to every little nook and cranny of the body, helping to integrate, helping to let every part of the body know that they are worthy of our attention. Take a nice big breath in. Let's open up, coming into goddess pose one more time because that feels so good. Open your heart. Who could you open your heart to tomorrow? And then inhale, reach up again, and exhale, open up, warrior two. Line your feet up so your right heel is lined up with the middle of that left foot, and sink into that right knee. Strong, but flexible. Reach up, reverse that warrior, look up, reach for that wrist, lean back, sky archer. Nice big breath in, the sun is setting. And as you exhale, release back out, warrior two, but straighten that leg, getting ready for triangle. Keep a little bend in that knee. Reaching forward, lowering that right arm, lifting the left arm, looking up, gazing up. Take a nice big breath in, open that shoulder. Exhale it out. And inhale, rebend the knee, coming back through warrior two. And look down at that foot. Get ready. Spin that back foot. Take your hands to the mat. Step on back. Coming into plank or tabletop. If you're coming into plank, we're going to lower all the way down to the floor. Just bend your arms and take a nice long descent to the floor if you want a little bit more. If you're ready to come into plank, lower the knees, the tops of the feet, and just come down all the way to the floor. And make a little pillow with your head, with your arms. Turn your head to one side and rock your hips from side to side. And feel your breath here as the belly presses into the mat. Allow your breath and your nervous system to reset. This practice is all about challenging us and then allowing us to reset. Just allow that settling in. Good.
And take one more breath in, and then whichever side your head is turned to, reach your arms out to a T and turn your cheek toward one side. Whichever side it is turned to, take the same knee and draw it up towards your shoulder. Is that clear? I'll say it again. Whichever way you are looking, take that knee on that side and draw it up towards your shoulder with your arms out at a T, palms facing down. And then you're going to take a little roll toward the other side. So, and then we're going to take that knee behind you. So you're getting a stretch of that shoulder that's extended. This is a pose called broken wings sometimes. Not a very nice name for it. So this top hand that's extended the same way that you're looking can be lifted and maybe taken behind your back if your shoulder allows. Or you can just keep it in front of you to sort of prop you up. Now, if you have any pain in your shoulder, if you have any shoulder injuries, please back off of this pose. And we'll breathe here. And close your eyes. This is super stretchy for the shoulders. Just let the breath settle. And take one more breath here. And then slowly lower back down, come back to your forehead on the mat. Just extend those arms out to a T and turn your face toward the other direction now. Take a big breath in, fill up, and just sigh it out the mouth. Whichever direction you are looking, draw that knee up towards your shoulder. This is a great place to stay. If you really like the sleeper pose, stay here by all means, your practice. But if you're ready to move into the shoulder stretch on this other side, being aware of any injuries that you might have and backing off, take this top leg and place it back behind you, and this top arm that's extended the same direction as your gaze can come behind your back or stay on the mat, pressing you up, allowing the shoulder to get a stretch. Again, any pain, back up. This is not about pain, about sensation. So see if you can breathe into this side, allowing the breath to soften you. Beautiful. We'll take one more breath in. And one more breath up. And then slowly release this pose, coming back to your belly. And then take your elbows under your shoulders. Come on up to Sphinx pose. So we look like that Egyptian Sphinx. We also look like my dog Sophie when she's sitting nice and tall. Sometimes she looks like a Sphinx. And this is a place where you can take your pillow or pillows and you can prop them up underneath you and give yourself a little more height. Or you can take your arms wide and come into seal pose for your back bend. Your choice, yogi's choice. You're always free to choose here. So let your eyes close here in this back bend. Let your heart open a little bit more. And let your breath come slow and smooth. Beautiful. And then as you're ready, take your hands to either side. If you have your pillows, just either side of your pillows. And bring yourself up to a seat. And then this time we are going to need our pillows. So hopefully you have two, and you can place them behind you and bring your hips right behind those pillows. If you don't have the pillows and you have a block, we can come into supported bridge. I'm going to throw this to my partner here. But if you have pillows, we're just going to come into a little heart opener. So lower yourself down. It should feel really yummy after being in that back bend. So just take your arms out wide and lower yourself down. If you have a blanket or a block instead of pillows, you can take it and tuck it underneath your hips and come into a supported bridge. And if you do that, tuck your shoulder blades underneath you and let your heart stay open. You can lift it up to the higher level if you want a little bit more. Then close your eyes and breathe here. Settle in. Let this be a pose of repose as well as a pose of reintegration after that back bend. I have another poem for you here. One of my favorite poets. It's called Caged Bird by Maya Angelou. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends and dips his wing in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade wind soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown, but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. When you're ready, roll to one side, remove your pillows or your props, and hug your knees into your chest. Take a big breath in, and exhale. Reach your arms long, point your toes, extend your arms overhead, and breathe. You can. And then hug your knees into your chest. Take your knees over to your left side. Open your arm out to the right. Turn your gaze to the right and soften with your breath. A nice big breath in. And exhale your way back to center, hugging your knees in, maybe taking some circles with your knees. Massage out that sacrum. And then hug your knees in one more time. Take them over to the right side. Open up your left arm. Turn your gaze to the left. And soften with your breath. When you're ready, take your knees back to center. Take those circles in the opposite direction. Hugging your knees in one last time. Lift your legs up over your heart, extending them long, pointing and flexing your toes. And when you're ready, extend your legs long, get really long on your mat. Take them as wide as your mat. Bring your arms out to your side. Open up. Let your eyes close. Let yourself take up space here. Feel the sensation of being
on the earth, taking up space. That sensation of belonging, that awareness of freedom. Let go of any manipulation of breath. Let go of any tension in the body. And let yourself stay here, still and quiet and free. The breezes at dawn have secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the doorsill world where two worlds touch. The door is round and open. Don't go back to sleep. Begin to deepen the breath. Make small movements with fingers and toes, and turn your head from side to side. Eventually allow yourself to roll to one side, finding that transition in that fetal position. Suggesting new beginnings. And just pause to notice how you feel. Notice how your breath is moving through the body. Do you feel more integrated? More alive? More free? And as you're ready, use the strength of your arms to press yourself up to a comfortable seat, closing your eyes, lifting your heart. Just pausing here. When you're ready, take your hands to heart center and find a bow of reverence to your own body, to your own breath, to your own strong mind. Knowing that you always have the freedom of choice. Decide if you want to send a prayer out into the world, prayer of love, of peace, of empathy. And when you're ready, lift your thumbs to your third eye, your seat of intuition and wisdom. And thank yourself for this practice. And I thank you for joining me for another Tuesday night practice. Stay well. Stay compassionate. Namaste. Thank you, guys. I'll see you next Tuesday.